You know, the modes, the modes are so important in music. Whether you play the keyboard or the guitar, it pays to know the modes, because when you solo, when you get ready to play solos, then the mode the modes are very those are the modes are very important tools that in your toolbox that you can use to improvise over chord progressions. So that's why I am going to tackle this topic. I'm going to post a series of videos covering this subject, the modes, and you know, the modes are not only elements of the major scale, of the major scales. You can find modes in major scales, minor scales, and so on. So the one that I'm going to start with the basics, you know, and then as we practice together, as we go along, then we will, you know, we will go to the you know, we will go higher and higher. We will go higher and higher as we practice together. We master what we're doing. Then we will move to the next step, and so on and so on, until we get until we understand what we're doing. So, but I'm not going to do that today. What I'm going to do is play the chords that you can build in the major scale and in the natural minor scale for now. So you can have in some kind of idea what those skills entail. So the four skills I'm going to use to play the modes, they're going to be the C major scale, the C natural minor scale, the C harmonic minor scale, and the C melodic minor scale. Those are the four scales I am going to use to extract modes from, and then after that I guess we'll be able to move higher. We will be able to research for more complex modes within other scales, and those four scales C major scale, C natural minor scale, C melodic minor scale, C harmonic minor scale, because they use the same tonic, so they are parallel modes. Same tonic, dif, different modes. They are parallel modes, and and from and you can build chords on the notes within all those scales, and those chords they're going to sound different. They have different characteristics, and you will be able, as you play, you will be able to hear the differences. And this subject is not only for guitar students, it's also for the keyboard students. The keyboard students can also, take advantage of this of the videos I'm going to post. Um, Remember, when I say to you that I'm practicing with you, we are practicing together, I mean it. It's not a class, I'm not teaching a class. I just pick up the guitar, I want to practice, and I invite you to practice with me, and we can practice together. So, and you know what a mode is. A mode is, if let's say you play C major scale, you start from C to C, you play the scale all the way to C octave, then that's a mode. That's the first mode in the scale. That's the C Ionian mode. If you start the scale if you start playing the scale on the second note, the D note, that's the second mode of the C major scale. That's the Dorian mode. There's no changes in the notes. It's the same scale you're playing. The only difference is you start playing the scale from a different note all the way to the octave of that note, and that's the mode. So if you ask me to play D Dorian mode, okay, then if I don't really know how to, if I'm not familiar with the intervals in the D Dorian mode, so I can just play the C major scale, and that will include my D Dorian mode, and it is the same for the other modes within the scale: Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and so on. But it's not always that easy, because if you're not playing a scale, and if you're not playing a specific scale, and then somebody asks you to play, let's say, a Mixolydian mode. So now, do you know right away what scale that Mixolydian mode belongs to? Well, it might take you a couple of minutes to find out what scale that Mixolydian mode belongs to. But if you, that's why what I'm going to practice, what we're going to practice together is the intervals that make up the modes. You know, if you know the intervals that make up the modes, then you can start playing a mode anywhere on the guitar without even thinking about the scale that mode belongs to. You just apply the intervals specific to that mode. So that's what we're gonna do. You know, I'm gonna post a series of videos about mode, and it's gonna be mode within the C major scale, modes within the C major scale, C natural minor scale, C melodic minor scale, and C Ionian. No, let me repeat that. C major scale, C natural minor scale, C harmonic minor scale, and C melodic minor scale. Then what we will do, then we can transpose, you know, the same concepts to the other major scales, to the other major scales. But remember, in each mode, within each mode, you can build a chord on each note of the mode. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play tonight. I'm going to play the chords that you can play on the notes of the C major scale, on the notes of the C major scale, and on the notes of the C natural minor scale. And next time I will do the same. I will do the same using the C natural. No, what did I say? Tonight I'm going to play the chords you can build on the notes of the C major scale, and the chords that you can build on the notes of the C natural minor scale. And then in my next video, I will play the chords that you can play on each note of the C harmonic minor scale and the C melodic minor scale. I think now it makes more sense. So let's play together. Let's play the chord that we can build, that can be built, well, the note that naturally can be built on the chords that naturally can be built on each note of the C major scale and any other major scale when you transpose. So on the C note, we can play C major 7 chord. I'm going to play it on the third fret, fifth string, root on the 5th string. Okay, that's C major 7 chord that you play on the first note of the C Ionian mode. And you can play you also can play just C major 7 open chord. On the second note of the C major scale, you're going to play a minor 7th chord, which is going to be a D minor 7th chord. It's going to be this one here. Let me see right there. Okay. That's a D minor 7th chord on the second note of the C Ionian mode. On the third note, which is E, you can also build a minor 7th chord, which is this one here, E minor 7. On the fourth note of the C major scale, which is F, you can play a major 7 chord, so it's going to be F major 7. I'm on the 8th fret, root on the 5th string. And on the 5th degree, on the 5th note of the C major scale, you can play a dominant 7th chord. It's going to be a G dominant 7. On the sixth note of the C major scale, you can play A minor 7th chord. It's going to be A minor 7th chord. Okay. On the 7th note of the C major scale, you can play a minor 7 flat 5 chord. It's going to be B minor 7 flat 5, and I'm going to play that on the I'm going to start on the second fret. Root, the tonic, the root is on the 5th string, and it's going to sound like this. By the way, this is a movable chord. You can move it. You can move this chord up and down the neck, and then you play different minor 7 flat 5 chord. B minor 7 flat 5, C minor 7 flat 5, D flat minor 7 flat 5, and so on. And then finally you play back home on C major 7 chord. Those are the chords that you can build naturally on each note of the C major scale in any other major scale. Now, so it's just to give you an idea when we start tackling the modes, so you can understand the chords that belong to the scale, to the mode. Okay. So now, if you what about the C? What are the chords that you can play you can build on each note of the C natural minor scale. So um, natural minor is not parallel minor. Natural minor of a scale is built on the natural minors. Okay, the natural minor scale within a major scale is starts on the sixth degree of the scale. That's the natural minor. This is different from parallel modes. Parallel modes like C minor, C natural minor, C harmonic minor scale, C melodic minor scale. Those are parallel modes because they start on the same tonic C, but the sixth degree within the scale, within the sixth degree within the major scale. For example, in the C major scale, that's the root of the C of the natural minor scale, and in the key of C, that's A. That would be A minor scale. So the natural minor scale in the scale of C is A minor. Okay, so there's a difference between those minor scales. Okay, you have the parallel modes in natural minor scales, parallel minor modes in natural minor scales. Those are different. So if we use the natural minor scale, if you have a major scale, okay, if you have a major, let's say you have C major scale, and you want to make it a minor scale, what do? Okay, I'm not talking about melodic or harmonic. I'm talking about a natural minor scale of another major scale. Okay, so C, let's say you have C major. I know you already know. If you want a minor, if you want to make a major scale minor, and I know you lower the third of the scale half step. Okay, that will in the key of C, that will make it you will have E. You will have E flat as opposed to E. C, you got C and you got E flat. But the natural minor scale, in the natural minor scale, you find three flats. You got the third, the sixth, and the seventh. So you have flat 3, flat 6, and flat 7. So when we talk about the modes, so that kind of distinction plays an important role to understand the modes. Okay, so a natural minor, like a C natural minor, yeah, okay, which is going to be the Aeolian mode. So flat 3, flat 6, flat 7 in the key of C major. Then if you lower the third, you got E flat. If you lower the sixth note, you got A flat. And if you lower the seventh note, you got B flat. So that's your natural minor, C natural minor, which is a C Aeolian mode from another major scale. Okay. So you can build a chord on each note of the C natural minors scale. You can play a specific chord. You can build a specific chord on each note of this mode of the mode, the natural minor mode, which is the Aeolian mode. So okay, so we're gonna start. Let's play together. Let's try that. Let's try that together. Okay, it's gonna be C. We start with C. We're talking about now. We forget about C major scale. Now we are in the C minor scale, and we're gonna build chords on each note of the mode. The first one, C minor. So it's gonna be the first chord is gonna be C minor 7. Okay, it's gonna be C minor 7. I'm gonna play it on the starting on the 3rd fret, root on the 5th string. C minor 7th. Okay, what chord we're gonna build? We're gonna build on the second note of C of the C minor scale. The second note is D. So we're gonna build a note. We're gonna build a chord. It's gonna be a minor chord, but it's gonna be. Listen to this. It's gonna be D minor 7 flat 5. Okay. D minor 7 flat 5. Okay. Again, you need to remember we are building chords on each note of the C minor, C natural minor scale, C Aeolian mode. Okay, we just play C minor chord, C minor 7 chord, and then we play D minor 7 flat 5. Now we're gonna build. We move to the 3rd note, but now it's not. We're not talking about a major. We're not talking about C major scale. We're talking about C minor scale. So now the 3rd, it is flattened. It's not E anymore because we're talking about C minor scale. It's E flat. So we're gonna build a chord on the 3rd, E flat. We're gonna build a chord on E flat, not on E, because we're not talking about the C major scale. The C major scale. We're talking about C minor scale. So what chord we're gonna play on the E? We're gonna play a chord. We're gonna find E flat. Okay, this is right here. That's E flat. We're gonna play major seventh chord, okay? E flat major seventh. Okay? That's the third. Now we're gonna move to the fourth note in the C minor scale. Okay? The fourth note is gonna be F. Okay? What chord we're gonna build on F in the scale is gonna be F minor 7. Okay? I can play it right here. I can play it down here. Let's see. First, starting on the first fret, that's F minor 7. Or I can play the 8th fret. Yeah, that's 8th fret, root on the 5th string. Okay, that we're still talking about C minor 7 scale. We're building chords on the notes. So the next note is the fifth note in the scale. What we're gonna play? What chord we're gonna build? We're gonna build a G minor 7 chord. Okay? So I'm gonna play it right here, starting on the 3rd fret. Okay. G minor 7th chord. You see? I don't know if you see there's a difference here, because if you remember, in the C major scale, when on the 5th degree you play a dominant 7 chord, you play a G dominant 7, but in the C minor scale, on the 5th you play a minor chord, you play G minor 7. But usually when usually musicians, they just play a dominant 7 anyway. It depends on the song that on the music that you're playing. You can substitute that G minor 7th with G dominant 7. It depends, okay? But naturally, what is really diatonic to the scale is the G minor 7, okay? Okay, now we move, let's move to the 6th note of the scale. Remember, the 6th note in the natural minor scale, it's flat, okay? So it's going to be A, okay, in the key of C. So it's not going to be A, it's going to be A flat. I mean, we take the A in the C major scale, and we flatten it. It becomes A flat. So we're gonna build a chord on the A flat, okay? That's it, on the 6th, okay? So it's gonna be, we're gonna play A flat major 7, okay? So it's gonna sound like this. Okay? Now you only got one note left. One note left is the note B. But remember, once again, remember, in the minor scale, in the natural minor scale, 7 is flat. So it's going to be B flat, B flat. Okay? So we're going to play, guess what we're going to play? on the B flat, on the 7th, guess, we're gonna play a dominant 7th chord. It's gonna be B flat 7. You see? And you remember on in the major scale, the dominant 7th is on the 5th degree of the scale, on the 5th note of the scale. But in the natural minor scale, the diatonic dominant 7, when I say diatonic, that means that note or that chord belongs specifically to the scale, to this particular scale. So in the major scale, in the C major scale, G dominant 7 is diatonic to the G major, is diatonic to the C major scale. But in the C minor scale, that dominant 7, which is very important in a progression, is found on the 7th degree of the scale, which is B flat. That's very interesting. And then of course you go back to your minus, you go back home to C minus 7. Okay? You know, I'm going to play. I'm going to play C minor 9 just to make it fun. So, okay, so you see, when you see the difference of the chords that you can build on the scale, depending whether or not the scale is major or minor, and so on. See? So you know, I mean, remember that in your mind, you know, when in the major scale, you have a dominant chord, which is actually the primary dominant chord of the scale, on the 5th note of the scale of the major scale. For example, in the C major scale, it's a G dominant 7. But the C minor scale, the C natural minor scale, and remember the natural, okay, that's very important. The C natural minor scale, the dominant 7 chord, which is a very important chord in a progression, is found on the 7th degree of the scale. So you see, that's what we need to understand as musicians, as keyboard players, as guitar players. We need to understand these things. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. You know, next time I'm going to play the chords that you can build on each note of the C melodic minor scale and C harmonic minor scale. Alright? So that's it for now. So get ready to tackle the modes with me. Alright? Bye.